and welcome to the Barnsley Metrodome for Weber Cup 15, the pinnacle of Team 10-pin bowling, where we are locked at 16 all ahead of the finale. And where will the glory go? Will it go to Europe, who have rallied, or will it go to the USA, who tied things up in the last game to make it 16 apiece? So it is the 15th edition of the Weber Cup. 8 of the best bowlers on the planet, and what a show they have put on. Team USA led for a long, long way before Europe battled back to take a slender advantage. Before we get to the action, let's remind ourselves of what's happened so far at Weber Cup 15. Europe returned with the same winning team from last year as they attempt to defend their title. For the second time, the Moose, Mika Koivuniemi from Finland, captains the team. He's arguably the greatest European bowler. He has a bowling title in 21 countries and is ranked #1 on the World Bowling Tour.
We want this win more than anything else. It was so great here, go around the world, those tournaments, and remind my teammates how great we felt last year. So I like to have that feeling again one more year.
Dominic Barrett is one of England's leading bowlers. He has an impressive array of results, including PBA and EBT titles. He was inducted into the PBA Hall of Fame in 2013.
We're very excited, eager to go, and really we've got some great memories of this lane and we're ready to create a few more.
This is Stuart Williams' 4th year at the Weber Cup. Williams has 6 ETBF titles and became the first English player to win a PBA title at the end of 2011.
It would be really huge if we were able to defend the title, because it would prove that last year wasn't a fluke and they weren't, coming in arrogant and underestimating us, because they can't do that this year. So yeah, it would be huge for us to win again.
Martin Larsson from Sweden owns 6 European Bowling Tour titles. He returns to the Weber Cup for his 3rd time. He was part of the 2009 and 2013 winning teams.
We will work as hard as we can to be able to look to the US guys every time we see them, and yeah, I know, we beat you.
The USA team returns as they make a bid to avenge last year's defeat. The captain, Chris Barnes, makes his 9th consecutive appearance with 3 majors, 25 regional titles, a PBA Triple Crown and earnings of over $2 million. He is unarguably the greatest player the sport has ever seen.
I think any time you lose, it refocuses your team. And we've been looking forward to coming back and having a little redemption for the whipping we took last year.
Tommy Jones, nicknamed Mr. 300, is known for his vocal attitude out on the lane. He holds the record for the shortest time to win 10 PBA titles. He's also claimed 9 PBA regionals and 15 tour titles.
We see these guys all the time. We have a whole year of seeing them, knowing that they won, and they do a pretty good job of rubbing it in. So that can't happen anymore. I can't take any more of it.
Bill O'Neill returns to the USA lineup for his 4th consecutive year. The real deal has 5 PBA titles after winning the Badger Open this year.
We hate losing, and the manner in which we lost last year, getting dominated the last 2 days, I think has left a real sour taste in our mouth, so we're looking to get some revenge.
And making his Weber Cup debut is Wes Malott. He won his first PBA title in 2005, and since then he's gone on to win another 8. He was victorious in the 2013 US Open for his 1st major.
I just want to do my part and be able to help them bring this cup back to the States.
Team USA started well and led throughout the tournament, denying Europe the chance to level at every opportunity. However, in the final session, Europe selected a short oil lane pattern and the Americans didn't have the correct equipment to deal with the conditions. They struggled and Europe fought back into contention. The turning point for Team Europe was the match between Tommy Jones and the European captain, Mika Koivuniemi. The American needed 2 strikes in the 10th to sneak a win. Unfortunately for him, he failed to deliver, allowing the Europeans to draw level for the very first time. Then it was nip and tuck in the next 2 games. First it was Stu Williams versus Bill O'Neill. The American couldn't match Williams' performance. Team Europe went on to take the lead. Then it was the captain's pick, and Mika Koivuniemi was up against Wes Malott. There were mistakes from both players. Despite the American throwing a gutter ball in the 7th frame, he sensationally hit 2 crucial strikes in the final frame to win and force a deciding match. So this is confirmation of the score so far in the final session, and what a dramatic turn of events we have seen. At 16 points apiece, the winner of this next match will be crowned champions, and it's a baker. So all 8 players are in action in this fantastic conclusion to Weber Cup 15. Time to introduce the team's all 8 players then. First, the hosts, the defending champions who had a thrilling comeback last year. Perhaps that will even top that. Led by Mika Koivuniemi, it is Team Europe. Time to introduce the second team, the challengers, led by one of the greats of all-time 10-pin bowling, Team USA. So we have the captains ahead of this deciding Baker match. Chris, what are you thinking right now?
Well, it's actually turned almost 180 now, and we're on borrowed time. So we got extended life, and now we plan on taking advantage of it.
How do you assess the pendulum of momentum then, Mika? Because you made that thrilling comeback, and then Wes with the big victory last time out. Do you sense perhaps it's gone back the red way, or are you still confident with your team's form?
I'm really comfortable. If you told me 10 matches ago we're going to bowl game 17, match 733, I'll be really happy, and I like my guys. I like the chances what we have with the special bowling balls. So
you got the special bowling ball, which deals so well with the way the lane is set up. But Chris, it seems that your guys have started to figure it out the last couple of matches.
Yeah, it certainly took us longer than we'd like, but I think now everybody's got a game plan. We all have pretty good ball reaction, and so I think it's a fair fight down to the finish.
And Mika, the mood's good in your camp ahead of this decider?
we see. About 15 minutes we know.
We will see then. The captains and the teams, please, ladies and gents, give a round of applause ahead of this Baker finale. So for the final time in Weber Cup 15, ahead of this deciding match, let's cross to our commentators, Cass Edwards and Simon Golding.
Match 33, the final game of Weber Cup 15, the most sensational Weber Cup we have had in the history of this fabulous event. Mika Koivuniemi in your picture, the European skipper who has engineered a quite sensational comeback. Many thought it was a gamble going to that shorter oil pattern, but once those specially drilled bowling balls came out, we understood that there was a method to the madness, and then USA started to run scared. It's been a tremendous performance from the team in blue. It's been a pretty heroic performance from the likes of Chris Barnes, and then Wes Malott backing him up to drag those scores level. But that really was a quite sensational performance from both teams, and to be here, Cass Edwards, in the tiebreaker after all this time, that probably is a fitting end.
It's a bit of a penalty shootout, Simon, which is not the ideal way to finish, but everybody's here. We're having a late night tonight, and someone will be walking away with the Weber Cup after this Baker game.
Well, can there be a more sensational finish to a Weber Cup? I very much doubt it, as we head into the penalty shootout that is the Baker game. All four members of each team up there on stage, and you get very little chance to impress in this match. And they've chosen Team Europe to go with Martin Larsson as the lead-off man, who, let's face it, has been one of the stars of this comeback. No, it's cut up on the head pin. It's not a good start from Larsson.
certainly was out of range, wasn't it? Leaves the 3, the 6 and the 10, so we can only have a spare to start with. Great reaction there, look at that. Hooking much too much. High through the headpin. Okay, you've got to regroup and take the spare, Martin. You won't see him again until frames 5 and then 9.
Yeah, the slight worry is that he'll be the man that bowls 3 frames for Team Europe. Out they go. I wonder what Dominic Barrett's feeling right now, because while this choice of the shorter oil pattern has been a fantastic one, it has rather excluded Dominic from proceedings in this final session. On we go then, with the man that has pretty much taken the reins at the start of each session, Chris Barnes, to open up for Team USA. He's the man with the urethane ball, or as close to as damn it, for Team USA, and he's the man that has coped the best with this pattern.
He also will bowl frames 1, 5 and 9. That's a great looking shot from Chris. Great opener for Team USA.
Welcome back to the 888.com Weber Cup 15 from the Barnsley Metrodome. This is the deciding match to see who will be crowned champions, and so far Team Europe have had a disappointing start with a spare, whereas the USA hit a strike to get the upper hand straight away. Before we rejoin the action, let's go backstage with our roaming reporter Lara, who's catching up with a familiar face from past Weber Cups.
Hello there, I am here with Tim Mack, the former captain of the USA team. Tim, have you given the USA team any advice since you've been here?
Actually, first, it's great to be back on the venue. I have talked to Chris and Tommy and Bill and Wes, all the guys, and just normal communication that we've had in the past. I've known them for almost all the guys for more than 20 years, so we've talked back and forth about, you know, what they think strategies are. But with that in mind, I've also talked to the European team because I've got a number of friends on both teams, on both sides. So it's been interesting to see both parallels from both captains and both teams. But yeah, it's been an interesting weekend, I can tell you.
And having played in the Weber Cup many times before, what's it like being on the sideline?
Although I'm not competing, I'm just happy to be on UK soil and amongst the event. It's been 4 years since I've been back. I've got a special place in my heart for this event. It's personal for me. I kind of grew up with it from its inception, and to see it come to where it is now is it's great. But on the other side, as a competitor, you always want to be on the lanes, and you always want to be out there, you know, trying for your country, giving your best. So it's been a very emotional roller coaster for me this weekend.
Well, I hope we can see you here again playing. Can you tell me who's going to win?
I'll tell you what, it's been an interesting parallel as the weekend has changed, with all the lane condition changes, with all the strategic changes on both captain's side. Right now, as you know, as we see, the Europeans are making a huge run. Their strategic decision to go to a different pattern and the way they're playing the pattern is really paying huge dividends for them, and they have the momentum going right now. And I've been in these Weber Cups when you've been down 5 points and we've come back to win, but I've also been on the other side when we've been up 4 or 5 points and they've come back to win. So right now the momentum is key in this event, and I got to think right now Europe's got the upper side right now. So that's the beauty of this event, and why it's so great to be part of it. You never know what the outcome is going to be, so it leaves everybody sitting on the edge of their seat, as I am now, as a fan of bowling. So 8 world-class bowlers going at it. Anything can happen. Should be a great final.
Great to catch up with the former USA captain Tim Mack there. He'll certainly be cheering these guys on. Now time to hand back to your commentators for this final match.
Up steps Barrett. Let's not forget his fabulous performance in this final session, where he bowled pretty much like that for the duration in order to bring home a victory against the latest hero for Team USA, Wes Malott. He recovered from that 7-frame gutter ball to bring it home against Mika Koivuniemi to level the score at 16, and that's why we're here. But let's be honest, once we got to 15 all, I think this is the only way, the only fitting way that this Weber Cup 15 could have gone. And here is the man himself, the big nasty.
Yes, he's going to be the finisher in frame 10. He'll bowl frames 2, 6 and 10. Once he's had that another full start, it's his feet that get a little bit tied up. His sliding shoe just sticks. So it's time to stop and regroup.
It's a weird sort of audio cue, Tim Mack was telling us. When his feet get fast, his shoes get squeaky and he stops. Simple as that.
Drop a 3 and 1 might help.
That's the last thing he needs right now. Keep it on the lane then, Wes. He does, and he keeps it on for a strike. This is looking rather good for Team USA.
2 strikes in a row. It's the perfect start for USA.
And I know there's lots of reasons why we are here in this Baker game. Not least of all because Wes Malott did manage to pull things level. But let's not forget that single point that Chris Barnes picked up in the singles. The only American to be successful until Malott won the captain's pick.
Yeah, it was a massive 260 game against Martin Larsson's 246, which put the point on the board.
And that meant it opened up the possibility of getting to the Baker. And it's happened. Stuart Williams then pops it down onto that tidy line that he's managed to play on this short pattern. And back to celebrate with teammates. It ain't over yet.
The wide outside line that we've seen Stu Williams playing before just lets it roll up nicely and carries all 10. It was a great looking shot. It's 2 strikes in a row for the European side.
Well, the man that steps up next is Bill O'Neill, but I have to say this, Cass, as much respect as I have for the amazing talent of Tommy Jones, he now is the man that is standing out as a possible weak link. And Bill O'Neill, I'm afraid, joins him. That's changed everything here at Weber Cup 15.
Just doesn't get up to the head pin and make the pocket, does he? He leaves the 2 pin and the 10 pin. Just gets a bit too wide. It's hit him thin and broken nothing up at all. It is a makeable spare. Give it a shot. Oh, and he did.
A massive open frame. Team Europe fans can't resist the applause. And Bill O'Neill becomes the latest man to sit in that seat with the tag. The man who lost the Weber Cup. But let's remember, Wes Malott was the man who was sat there for quite a while until he came back against Koivuniemi. So it's still close.
Yeah, it's an expensive loss of a pin there on the double. If he'd taken 1 from that, it would have all counted right at the end.
But the way the Baker works, the staccato nature of your visits to the line, I mean, there is plenty of room for error. Koivuniemi points it in quite beautifully from the corner, but a ringing 10. That was the shot that cost him against Malott.
And how many 10 pins have we seen in this tournament off supposedly great looking pocket shots? And there it goes again. That 6 pin just will not touch the 10. So it can only be a spare after 2 strikes in a row.
Yeah, we've seen plenty during the 3 days of bowling on some very testing lane patterns. Dumps down the ball, which he does on his spare as well as his strike ball, but it doesn't look all that comfortable. And once again, those scores get back to pretty close. It was a low-scoring game when they met first of all in the opener to Weber Cup 15. Both teams sub 200. I wouldn't be surprised to see them down towards there. Now then, TJ, a lot of people said this is the man that should have been the captain's pick for Koivuniemi. I completely understand Malott's choice. But Tommy Jones has definitely been having problems in this final session. And he's got another problem there as he leaves the 10 pin.
Looks familiar, sounds familiar. An old 10 pin. All created by the angle of the ball coming in, not quite making the pocket perfect. Has to make the spare hard and straight across the lane.
Once again, that opportunity to just stamp their authority on the match is handed back to Team Europe. And it'll be that man, Martin Larsson, to step up again. I'll tell you what, Bill O'Neill really is in the pits of despair back in the chair there.
Thought he looks a bit ghostly for a second. He'll have another chance.
Yeah, pressure's getting to everybody. Larsson then, not the opener he wanted, so chance to atone for that. And remember, this is the man that bowls 3 frames, so Team Europe need him striking. He's thrown that nicely. Oh, he's unlucky. That was a great bit of action on the 6 pin, and it did come back off the kickback to contact the 10, but he didn't knock it over.
It's kind of a hit and miss, really, isn't it? God, look at that 6 pin. It just dies, doesn't it? Wobbles the 10, but it won't take it away. How frustrating this is for all of these guys.
And once again, that spare by Team USA is not punished. Just holds on to make his own spare, so that potential maximum score remains as a 4-pin advantage to the Blues. But with a shot to come, things could change again, although it is Chris Barnes, who I have to say, Cass is looking pretty darn confident at the moment on this pattern.
Yeah, he's been probably the best of the lot. He's got a striking frame 1, so this is up for his second shot of the game here in frame 5.
That's good. That is so good from the Team USA captain. And that's why he's put himself in this position, because he knows he can take the pressure and he knows he can find the shots.
Yeah, certainly playing a captain's innings. And that's the difference at the halfway stage.
Welcome back. The deciding match is underway to see who will lift this year's trophy. Both teams are feeling the pressure. Before the break, Bill O'Neill had an open frame and the USA score plummeted. Europe, despite having 3 spares, now have a narrow lead in this crucial game. Let's get back over to your commentators.
The Webber Cup 15 has come down to a quite sensational finish. It's all or nothing in the Baker team game. The final encounter between Team USA and Team Europe, and what has been the best Webber Cup we have ever seen. Dominic Barrett next up then for Team Europe, just 4 pins in it on those potential maximums. No messing about from Barrett, but that's through the head pin, that's left 4, that's a low count, and that's trouble for Team Europe. Dominic Barrett's wife, Cassie, knows it as well, watching on.
Yeah, low count with 6 pins only after a spare. And it's a tricky one as well. It's the 3, 6, 8 and the 9. Let's amend that to the 3, 6, 9 and the 10.
Yeah, pretty straightforward to get to those pins that are down in that diagonal line. The 3, 6 and the 10. Not so easy to get to the sleeper just behind them.
Yep, tricky little spare under pressure. It's going to get that 9 pin at the back.
Got it. Well done to Dominic Barrett. Keeps Team Europe in it with a great spare.
At the moment, this ball that Wes Malott is going to throw is the most important ball. It's frame 6. He's working on a strike, so we'll be looking for a double. And look at the maximum scores on the doors.
Yeah, double hurts Team Europe, no doubt about it. A little squeak as he arrived at the line, but no trouble at all for Wes Malott. And the big nasty gets nasty on Team Europe.
He's bowled 2 balls, he's bowled 2 strikes.
Well, that's how it's shaping up so far. Don't forget, Team USA still have Tommy Jones and Bill O'Neill to come to the line, and they have been struggling on this pattern. Whereas once Team Europe find their line on this, they tend to be pretty consistent and have done that all the way through this final session. Stuart Williams has played his role. Now he has to play it again in the team game.
Shot a strike in frame 3. He's just going to reset himself. Won't be rushed. It's a very important ball.
A strike keeps Team Europe in touch. It's wide, but it's come back nicely. Just for the first half of that shot, Stuart Williams was looking nervous, and then he realised it was reacting quite beautifully with the lane pattern.
I was kind of nervous just for a second or two as it hit the first board, but it came roaring back like a steam train, didn't it? And hit the 1-3 pocket, knocked everything off track, and Stuart is just pumping the lane. Look at that.
Straight over to the fans, and the fans respond. Stuart Williams with a great strike. And now we move into nervy moments for Team USA. Bill O'Neill gets his strike. Oh, that'll feel so good for the real deal.
It's 3 strikes in a row as well. Great shot, Bill. Team USA hold their lead. Carries the tempo as well, look at that. He can sit down now because his tournament is over.
Yeah, he's done, and he's done on a positive. Tommy Jones looking a little bit nauseous there. He looks very nervous. He's up next for Team USA after Mika Koivuniemi. And I guess now, Cass, from a neutral point of view, what we have to hope for is that this team finishes on, or this tournament finishes on good play. Doesn't finish on a bad error for somebody.
Or a tie.
Oh, don't go there. My goodness me. Mika into the pack. And quite beautifully, the Moose celebrates once again. And he returns to his seat.
Yeah, it's 2 strikes in a row for the European side, and it's the European captain that's put it on the board. Full width of the lane. Great response. Fantastic feedback.
And what Mika Koivuniemi has done at Weber Cup 15 will live long in the memory.
He's certainly played a captain's innings all the way through the tournament, hasn't he?
Yeah, it's been a brilliant captain's role. Not just as a player, but as a decision maker. Tactically sound. Now then, I think this is the moment for Team USA. They get through this one with a strike from Tommy Jones. I think they've got one hand on the Weber Cup. And he's going to prolong the agony for him and for us.
And about 600 people in the Barnsley Metrodome as well. Dear oh dear. Team USA have got 3 strikes in a row on the scoreboard. This will be Tommy Jones's last frame in the whole tournament.
Yeah, an unusually quiet tournament for TJ.
Absolutely, yeah.
Massive moment. Once again, the list is almost endless when it comes to big moments. But here's the latest one with TJ, Tommy Jones. And he's got his strike. And that's what it means to him. You kind of knew he was going to let loose after that one.
A fantastic looking shot from Tommy Jones. He has had a quiet tournament. This is his last shot. and it just rips the rack and scatters 10 pins all over the place. 4 strikes in a row for Team USA, and they maintain their 10-pin lead, and we're up to the foundation frame already.
This is the decider to see who will be this year's Weber Cup champions. Before the break, it was disappointment for Dom Barrett, who left 4 pins for a tricky spare. We saw Europe's score plummet. The USA, however, had 4 strikes with the help of Tommy Jones' last visit to the lane, and now have a narrow lead as the foundation frame is about to be played.
Tommy Jones has done his bit. He sits down. And the man that will bowl the foundation frame for Team Europe, Martin Larsson, steps up. Without doubt, one of the Team Europe heroes over the last 3 days. And he's going to remain so. Larsson punches the air. All 10 disappear. And USA once again asked to deliver in frame 9.
My word, this is getting close. What a great looking shot from Martin Larsson. Full width of the lane, great reaction in the back end, great reaction in the pocket, carries all 10, 3 strikes in a row.
Well played, Martin Larsson. Your place in the history books is assured. Chris Barnes has looked very solid in this Baker, has looked very solid on this pattern. And now the Team USA captain has got to do it all again. Oh no! And that might be Weber Cup 15 gone for Team USA.
Hard to believe. It's the 8-10 split. So light in the pocket, and look at those two standing there. Nothing's going to knock them over, and this will be, unfortunately, an open frame for the American captain.
That's horrible.
And Simon, as you said, it's likely the Weber Cup is staying on this side of the Atlantic.
Well, there have been so many twists and turns in Weber Cup 15. That is the latest, but it might be the decisive one. A disconsolate Chris Barnes heads back to his team, but it's a place that he just doesn't want to be, and nobody talking to him. They know when to leave Chris Barnes to his own thoughts. And now Dominic Barrett steps up into frame 10, certain in the knowledge that a strike here really does put Team Europe in a winning position. The finish line for the Blues is close.
And how appropriate that the PBA World Champion is the man to step up and possibly take this title for Team Europe.
He's almost been the forgotten man in this session. An unusual short pattern. But when he's been asked to do his job for Team Europe, he's done it in style. Now, when he comes away from the ball return, things will happen pretty quickly because he doesn't hang about, Dom Barrett. This is all part of the routine, but once that ball return is left, he will just load the ball up and away he goes. Dominic Barrett to write the next chapter in Weber Cup history. It's there! Oh, it's there! What a massive strike from Dom Barrett, and what a massive result for Team Europe. This tournament has delivered everything. It's been 3 days of scintillating 10-pin bowling, and Cass Edwards, that is something else.
He's got another 2 balls to bowl yet. Crikey, come on. This tournament has been the best Weber Cup of all time. It will be seen around the world as will 8 of the world's top bowlers, and it's all over
A monumental 3 days of bowling comes to a close here at the Metrodome in Barnsley. In the most dramatic of circumstances. The last ball goes down, it's irrelevant. Team Europe are victorious here at Weber Cup 15. Let's spare a thought for Chris Barnes and Team USA, because that was some performance for them. But for Chris Barnes, that is not a moment that he will want to remember for too long. It all went wrong for Team USA in frame 9. And Team Europe, through Dominic Barrett, finally get this across the line. So Wes Malott steps up as a rather disconsolate figure. He was hoping to be the closer to celebrate for Team USA. That is not how it has worked out. It's all about the blue wigs and the blue shirts of Team Europe. Well, I think these celebrations are going to go on for quite some time. We're already late into the night, but there is going to be one heck of a party here in Barnsley this evening. Malott just reminding this crowd exactly why we've ended up in the Baker. It's all because of his endeavours. But Team Europe retain a trophy that they love so much, and in terms of the overall scores, Cass Edwards, that takes it back to very close, doesn't it?
8-7 to the USA overall in the Weber Cup victories. And Big Wegs finishes off with 3 strikes in a row on his debut. What a great tournament.
Couldn't agree with you more. That is a fantastic performance. 242 plays 220, which means that Europe retain the Weber Cup, and they retain it in some considerable style. And in tears, Cassie Barrett, Dominic's wife, the emotion in the end just getting to everybody. That is some performance from the European team. It's some performance from the fans, let me tell you. But now it's time to relax, to celebrate, and to enjoy a quite sensational victory. Well, the master plan of Mika Koivuniemi, the Team Europe captain, was in the end nothing short of genius. A quite sensational comeback to start with, and then they managed to bring it home in that very, very tricky Baker game. Team Europe win Weber Cup 15, 17-16, a sensational tournament, and Ed Draper is with the presentation.
So many thrills and spills in Weber Cup 15. Finally, we get a result. We've got one of the all-time Weber Cup greats to award the Weber Cup trophy this time around. But before we do that, please give a hand to the valiant USA team who led for so long and fought so hard. But there had to be a winner, and coming into the final session, 14-10 down. We didn't think it'd be Team Europe, but they rallied in some stunning fashion to claim it in the Baker. Tim, if you can award the trophy to Mika Koivuniemi.
But what a fantastic win for Team Europe, and here's confirmation then of the roll of honour after the 888.com Weber Cup 15. Team Europe have now defended their title and brought their overall wins to 7, and the home crowd is delighted here in Barnsley.
Well, this man has won this before, but Mika, how much does it mean this time to win it in this fashion after coming back from so far behind?
I don't really find the real words for this, but it was unbelievable last year, and this is even bigger win than last year. And how we did it, we came back, and we all 4 guys draw great shots. Last 4 shots what we draw for the win. We all strike our last shots what we needed. So I don't think it can be any better than that.
You've won 21 titles in 21 different countries around the world, but as a captain, does it mean more because you help strategize and work out a way for your team to find that victory in the final session?
No, it's not only me, it's all of us. We make the decision, we are the team. So, but This has to be the biggest win for me as a team player, especially how it happened.
And you've all written your name into Weber Cup folklore now, and for you as well, are you aware that it pegs the Americans back in the all-time standings to 8-7 overall, and you can level it up next year if you get a victory?
Yeah, that's the plan. With this feeling what we're having right now, we'd like to have it again.
So let's have another round of applause then for the victors for the second year running off a comeback, Team Europe.
What a fantastic result for Team Europe. Here's a look back at their story to victory. We began with 8 champions of the game playing for one of the biggest events in the sport. Europe determined to defend their title, and the USA hoping to revenge last year's defeat. The Americans got off to a great start and they went on to lead 14-10. However, in the last session, Team Europe chose a short lane oil pattern, which proved crucial. The Americans did not have the equipment to deal with the conditions, and Europe took advantage. However, it wasn't an easy session for the Europeans. They were under pressure to perform. We look back at the match between Martin Larsson and Chris Barnes as the Swede steps up for the 10th frame.
Needs all 10. He's got all 10. Team Europe are not out of Weber Cup 15 by any means. Not over yet, though.
Certainly leads to the next one as well now. Gosh, look at the pressure on his face.
Well, this is what these guys play for. This is where they want to be.
Yeah, he's just checking the score. He knows now he needs... a 9 is no good to him. 9 spare is 268. Next ball must be a strike.
The ball's reacting well. He's throwing it well. It's all going to come down to operator error. If anything goes wrong, it's going to be down to Larsson just getting it a little offline. And he knows, and we'll repeat this again, he knows there is no margin for error on the right side of the lane. Larsson then for the win. It's a great shot from Martin Larsson. Team Europe crowd on their feet to celebrate a quite fantastic performance from the Swede. What a win for him.
What a great match, what a high-scoring match. The scores are level and Larsson's got one more ball to bowl, so 1 pin will be good enough. I'm sure he's not going to go for one. Change the ball, straight down the middle, that's good enough.
Beautiful stuff from Martin Larsson. Ladies and gentlemen, fasten your seatbelts.
Team Europe continued on their fight back, and they finally had the chance to level in a dramatic match between team captain Mika Koivuaniemi and Tommy Jones, the American looking to halt Europe's charge in the 10th frame.
First one has to be a strike, second one has to be a strike, and he can afford a 7 on the last count to win by a pin.
And it's incredible, isn't it? The next minute can have such a bearing on this match. Either Europe go in to the final singles level, or Team USA going in with Bill O'Neill and a chance to win Weber Cup 15. And it all rests on these next 2 balls. There's the strike, the first one up for Tommy Jones. Chris Barnes believes. Well, BU, we know exactly what that means. Just throw it and strike it.
Well, he's given himself the opportunity. He has to throw another one. And Mr. 300, who's used to throwing lots of strikes, he's thrown 6 in this game already, but he's had 2 massive open frames. And he's got a lifeline here.
Big positive, though, is that he knows that that particular ball that he's throwing is working now. And where's Malott? Well, he'll be desperate for this strike to happen.
This is almost like a 12th shot in a 300 game, isn't it?
Yeah.
It just has to be 10.
Away it goes. USA, do not do it. Ringing 10. Drops that score out, and we go level at Weber Cup 15. Sensational stuff
Certainly was a dramatic finish to this year's Weber Cup as the tournament went the distance. The Baker match was to decide the winners, and the pressure was on Dom Barrett to deliver in the 10th frame.
It's there! Oh, it's there! What a massive strike from Dom Barrett, and what a massive result for Team Europe.
It has been one of the most exciting ever Weber Cups, and we crown the champions here in Barnsley. Team Europe defend their title and walk away victors of Weber Cup 15.